NBC didn't call LeBron. They didn't call Steph. They didn't even call a single NBA veteran. When the network decided to relaunch the crown jewel of American sports, Basketball Night in America, they made one phone call. One call to a 22-year-old woman from Iowa who has never played a minute in the NBA. Caitlin Clark is crossing over.
Caitlin Clark going toe-to-toe with the biggest women's basketball stars on the biggest stage.
Not as a player, but as the new face of the league's biggest stage. This isn't hype. This isn't a rumor. It's a seismic shift in sports, a calculated statement about who truly moves the needle in today's game. The question isn't whether she can dominate on the court. It's whether the world is ready to watch her rewrite what it means to be a superstar. Who gets to define basketball in the 21st century? For NBC, the answer is Caitlin Clark, and the game will never be the same. Caitlin Clark takes the NBA spotlight. Let us break down exactly what NBC has done here, because the details reveal just how seriously they are taking this move. Caitlin Clark will make her debut on February 1st, joining the pregame coverage for the Lakers versus Knicks game. That is not a random selection. That is Madison Square Garden, the mecca of basketball, the most famous arena in American sports. LeBron James and the Lakers against the surging Knicks in the New York market. You literally cannot construct a bigger stage if you tried. This is where NBC wants to introduce Caitlin Clark to their NBA audience. Not during a mid-season matchup between small market teams. Not buried on a random Sunday afternoon. They are putting her front and center for the flagship game of their return to NBA broadcasting.
It's one of the biggest moments the WNBA has ever seen. Looking forward into the future.
Is trusting that her presence will draw viewers who might otherwise skip the pregame entirely. And look at who she will be sitting alongside. Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, 3 Hall of Famers, 3 of the greatest scorers in NBA history. Combined, they have scored over 50,000 points in the league. They have been to all-star games, won scoring titles, and created moments that defined eras of basketball. And NBC is placing Caitlin Clark right next to them, not as a novelty guest, not as a brief interview subject, but as a peer, as an analyst, as someone whose basketball perspective they believe is valuable enough to share that stage with legends. Think about what that visual communicates. 3 men who dominated the NBA for decades treating a 22-year-old WNBA player as an equal voice in basketball analysis. When that is not just good television, that is a cultural shift happening in real time. Caitlin Clark moves millions.
A Brooklyn logo bomb from Caitlin Clark.
Why is NBC making this bet? The answer is brutally simple. They have seen the numbers, and the numbers do not lie. Remember what happened during her college career at Iowa? NBC put her record-breaking game behind the Peacock paywall, and subscriptions exploded. People who had never paid for a streaming service suddenly found themselves entering credit card information just to watch a women's college basketball game. That does not happen by accident. That happens because one person has become so essential to the sports conversation that audiences will do whatever it takes to watch her. The WNBA experienced the same phenomenon. When Caitlin Clark entered the league, viewership numbers that had been stagnant for years skyrocketed overnight. Her matchups against Angel Reese turned into appointment television.
Angel pushes Natasha Howard. Caitlin Clark points out the no call. Then she applies a hard foul on Reese. Reese gets up right away.
Merchandise sales exploded. Arena attendance broke records. The entire economic model of women's professional basketball shifted because of one player's gravitational pull. NBC is not gambling on potential. They are investing in proven results. They know that wherever Caitlin Clark appears, audiences follow. This is cold, calculated business strategy executed by executives who understand she is one of the most valuable media properties in American sports. They are willing to put her alongside Hall of Famers on day one because she has earned that position through pure market dominance. Now look at the dates they have chosen, because nothing in sports media happens by coincidence. When Caitlin will appear on February 1st for the debut, then returns on March 29th for the Knicks versus Thunder game. These appearances are positioned with surgical precision. February 1st comes right before the NBA All-Star break, when basketball conversation reaches its annual peak. March 29th lands just as the WNBA season prepares to ramp up, keeping her in the public consciousness and reminding casual fans that her return to the court is imminent.
Caitlin Clark, she gets to the rim, and of course to start the game. How about to get these fans going?
But there is another layer most people are not discussing. The WNBA is facing potential labor issues. If the upcoming season faces delays, Caitlin Clark suddenly has a platform that keeps her visible, relevant, and earning during what would otherwise be dead time. This NBC arrangement is not just an opportunity, it is a safety net. If negotiations drag on, we could see her role expand from 2 appearances to regular contributor status, essentially becoming the face of basketball on television while the women's league sorts out its business. Both sides are preparing for scenarios that might extend this partnership far beyond 2 nights. Clark among legends. Imagine the dynamic that is about to unfold on that studio set. You have Vince Carter, arguably the greatest dunker in basketball history, a man who changed what people believed was physically possible above the rim.
Vince Carter, what body control and what power by Carter.
You have Tracy McGrady, one of the smoothest scorers the game has ever seen, capable of dropping 35 points on any given night with a style that looked effortless. You have Carmelo Anthony, the king of the mid-range game, whose footwork and shot-making ability put him among the greatest offensive players of his generation. And sitting alongside them will be Caitlin Clark, the queen of the Logo 3, the player who made shooting from the parking lot look routine, the woman who sees passing angles that most professional players cannot even conceptualize. The conversations that panel is going to have about scoring, about spacing, about reading defenses and exploiting weaknesses will be basketball analysis at its highest level. These are 4 people who understand the game from the inside, who have spent their lives studying how to put the ball through the hoop more efficiently than anyone else on the court. When they start breaking down why LeBron made a particular decision or how Jalen Brunson created separation on a specific play, 8 viewers are going to get insights that simply are not available anywhere else. The viral potential is enormous. Picture Caitlin asking Carmelo to explain the footwork on his famous jab step while demonstrating her own version. Imagine Vince asking Caitlin about her range, genuinely curious about how she generates power from distances that most players would never attempt. Think about Tracy McGrady, who was known for his basketball genius as much as his physical gifts, engaging Caitlin in a discussion about reading help defense and finding open teammates. These moments are going to create clips that spread across every social media platform within minutes. They are going to generate the kind of organic engagement that networks spend millions trying to manufacture through advertising. And they are going to shift perceptions about the women's game in ways that statistics and arguments never could. When NBA legends treat Caitlin Clark as a peer, when they defer to her analysis and respect her basketball intelligence, it sends a message to every viewer. If Vince Carter thinks her opinion matters, maybe you should pay attention too. Basketball IQ over tenure critics will inevitably raise the experience argument. She is too young. She has never played in the NBA. How can she analyze a league she has not competed in?
Caitlin, what a reaction by Kelsey.
The question reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes great sports analysis. Insight does not come from years on a broadcast desk. It comes from seeing the game at a level that transcends normal perception. And anyone who has watched Caitlin Clark play knows that she sees basketball differently than almost anyone on earth. More importantly, she has already proven she can perform in broadcast settings. She participated in a Manning-cast-style, alternate broadcast during the Final Four and was immediately comfortable, natural, funny, insightful in ways that surprised even people who expected her to be good. She appeared in the Yankees broadcast booth and held her own with professional announcers who have been doing that job for decades. She is not someone who becomes nervous in front of cameras. She has been in the spotlight since high school, scrutinized and analyzed and criticized more than most athletes experience in entire careers. The pressure of a Sunday night basketball broadcast is not going to faze her. On her basketball IQ is what makes this work. She sees passing lanes before they open. She recognizes defensive schemes and their weaknesses instantly. She processes the game at a speed that allows her to make decisions that look impossible to everyone except her. Translating that perception into analysis for viewers is simply a matter of articulation, and she has proven repeatedly that she can communicate complex basketball concepts in accessible ways. What NBC is getting is not a celebrity guest who happens to be famous. They are getting a genuine basketball mind wrapped in a package that attracts more attention than any other athlete in the sport. That combination is rare. That combination is why they are willing to put her next to Hall of Famers on night one. Clark's MSG moment. Now here is where things get really interesting. NBC producer Sam Flood dropped a tease that has set the internet on fire. He said they hope to have Caitlin with a basketball in her hand on set during her debut. That seemingly innocent statement has sparked speculation that extends far beyond simple on-air demonstration. Nike has been remarkably quiet about the release date for Caitlin's signature shoe. The anticipation has been building for months. Sneaker collectors, basketball fans, and casual consumers are all waiting for the most anticipated footwear launch of the year. So far, Nike has revealed almost nothing about timing or availability. What if February 1st is the moment? What if NBC's debut broadcast becomes the stage for the shoe unveiling? Think about the marketing synergy. Madison Square Garden, Lakers versus Knicks. Millions of viewers tuned in specifically because Caitlin Clark is on the broadcast. And then, during the pregame show, she casually reveals the signature shoe that everyone has been waiting to see. It would be the ultimate marketing flex. The kind of moment that dominates sports media for days afterward. The kind of reveal that trends worldwide on social media within seconds. Every major outlet would cover it. Every sneaker account would post about it. The convergence of her broadcast debut and her shoe debut would create a news event that transcends basketball entirely. This is speculation, but it is informed speculation. The pieces fit together too perfectly. Nike has invested heavily in Caitlin. NBC has invested heavily in Caitlin. Both companies are owned by or connected to the same corporate structures through her Xfinity endorsement deal with Comcast, NBC's parent company. The synergy is not accidental. These organizations talk to each other. They coordinate strategies. If there was ever a perfect moment to debut the shoe, February 1st is that moment. Clark's 22-year plan. Most athletes wait until retirement to begin their transition into media. They play for 15 or 20 years, accumulate their championships and accolades, and then start thinking about what comes next. By the time they sit behind a broadcast desk for the first time, they are in their late 30s or 40s, learning a new skill set while their playing days fade in the rearview mirror. Caitlin Clark is building her post-playing career right now, at 22. While she is in her absolute prime as an athlete, while she is arguably the most famous basketball player in America, regardless of gender, she is not waiting for the future. She is constructing it in real time.
Highest honor in college basketball. KCRG TV9's Scott Sable and Jack Leto met with Clark at today's awards.
The business savvy required to execute this strategy is remarkable. She is signed with Xfinity, which connects her to the Comcast and NBC corporate family. She has Nike, one of the most powerful brands in sports marketing, invested in her success. She has the Indiana Fever, a franchise whose value has increased dramatically since she arrived. And now she has a national broadcast platform that will keep her visible and relevant.
Disparity between her and Reggie Miller and Carmelo Anthony on the broadcast, which was the height disparity between her.
Even during the WNBA offseason. These are not accidental connections. This is portfolio construction at an elite level. Every deal reinforces the others. Every platform amplifies her reach. By the time her playing career eventually ends, she will have accumulated so many media relationships and so much broadcast experience that the transition will be seamless. She will not need to audition for jobs or prove herself to skeptical executives. She will have a decade or more of documented performance demonstrating that she can do this work at the highest level. Most athletes her age are focused entirely on their game. They trust agents and managers to handle the business side while they concentrate on becoming better players. Caitlin is doing both simultaneously. She is maximizing her earning potential, building transferable skills, and cementing her status as a media personality while also preparing for what promises to be a dominant second WNBA season. That dual focus is extraordinarily rare. That dual execution is even rarer. Fresh eyes on the NBA. So what can we expect when the broadcast begins? Based on everything we know about how NBC is approaching this launch, Caitlin Clark will not be treated as a sideshow. She will not be limited to brief comments or novelty segments. They are positioning her as a central voice in their analysis team, which means substantial airtime and meaningful contributions to the basketball discussion. Expect her to break down offensive schemes with the same precision she uses when running the Fever's attack. Expect her to identify defensive weaknesses that casual viewers would never notice. Expect her to speak the language of the modern NBA because her playing style aligns perfectly with how the league has evolved.
The kids' game today, we're calling it NBC. All right, house rules are set. Who gets the first shot?
High-volume three-point shooting, pace and space offense. Reading helps defense in making split-second decisions. And these are the elements that define contemporary basketball, and she executes them as well as anyone in the world. There is also the generational factor that NBC is clearly counting on. Traditional pregame shows can feel dated. Former players discussing their era, comparing everything to how the game used to be played, occasionally struggling to connect with younger viewers who did not watch them compete. Caitlin brings immediate relevance. She speaks to the TikTok generation in their language. She understands what resonates with audiences who consume sports through social media clips rather than traditional broadcasts. Her presence instantly makes the show feel younger, fresher, and more essential. The Hall of Famers on that panel have incredible basketball knowledge, but they represent a previous era. Caitlin represents right now. The combination creates a broadcast that can speak to multiple generations simultaneously.
Former teammates are back here, former coaches, the coaching staff, and some of my teammates that are still on the team. But, I'm just very lucky and great.
Honoring the history of the game while acknowledging where it is headed. That balance is difficult to achieve, and NBC believes Caitlin is the key to making it work. Caitlin Clark, the bridge between NBA and WNBA. For years, the NBA and WNBA have existed as parallel universes. The men's league commands massive attention and revenue. The women's league fights for visibility and respect. Crossover between the audiences has been limited, with many NBA fans barely aware of what happens in the WNBA and vice versa. Caitlin Clark is becoming the bridge. By placing the most recognizable face of the women's game in the center of NBA coverage, NBC is forcing those worlds to intersect. One casual NBA fans who tune in for Lakers versus Knicks will encounter Caitlin's analysis and form opinions about her basketball intelligence. If they respect what she says, if they find her insights valuable, they become more likely to respect her game. They become more likely to watch when her Fever season begins. They become potential converts to the WNBA audience. This is cross-promotion at its most sophisticated. It tells the NBA viewer that if this woman is qualified to analyze LeBron James, maybe her own league deserves more attention. It creates curiosity where indifference previously existed. It builds bridges through exposure rather than arguments. The viewership numbers for the WNBA are already climbing faster than anyone predicted.
She'll be credited with the steal. Got to play D right here.
This NBC arrangement could accelerate that growth dramatically. Sunday night basketball reaches demographics that women's sports have historically struggled to capture. Every appearance Caitlin makes expands her reach into new audiences who might never seek out WNBA content on their own. When the season tips off, those audiences will already feel connected to her through months of broadcast exposure. The implications extend beyond ratings. Sponsors watch these trends closely. If Caitlin can demonstrably drive viewership for NBC's NBA coverage, the value proposition for WNBA partnerships increases across the board. Her success became proof of concept for investing in women's basketball. Her performance becomes ammunition for every negotiation the league conducts.
Working on Van Loo. Oh, Clark, pretty step back, hits a three. Got a little.
February 1st is just the beginning. One desk, one broadcast, and an entire sports world watching. Hey, but this isn't a single moment, it's a movement. Caitlin Clark has already rewritten the rules of the game on the court. Now she's turning the media landscape upside down. The question isn't whether she can succeed, it's how far she will take it. Will this be a fleeting spotlight or the start of a new era where the game and its coverage belongs to someone who refuses to play by anyone else's rules? What comes next may not just change broadcasts, it could change basketball forever.